Welcome to another broadcast of Don't Give Up. Today's topic is discovery, and where I think we're starting with it is around it as an approach rather than coming in trying to fix or correct something. Ooh, hey. All right, it's a Don't Give Up broadcast. If you haven't watched anything in that series before, this is for my people who started in the hole or fell in a hole and sometimes get really overwhelmed. This is like the heavy hitter stuff. So this isn't if you're upset about something mild. You could likely apply the principles, but I'm really talking to the people who've gotten a few elbows. All right, even if they were your own, and then that's its own thing. So discovery as a strategy over correcting or fixing. So as you progress on your healing journey, you get hip to certain things that happen that inform how you behave, think, or feel. And then that becomes a thing. It becomes a thing. So you have an idea of where you were wronged or how you were wrong, and then you live and you're like constantly knitting those things together. And then you use what you've knitted to presume what's to come and to inform how you, like, what the work that you think needs to be done. This came in big the other day. It kind of blew my mind, honestly, because what it was I was telling a story. So I recognized a set of circumstances, behaviors, experiences that are present and kind of have been present. And then my mind, loving to contribute to whatever's going on, was like, you know what? Let's travel back in time and let's find who and what is making you this type of way. Oh, good morning. Today we're talking, yeah. Today we're talking about discovery. It's, as an approach over trying to fix. And so basically what I was just saying is like, okay, so I had a set of circumstances and my mind with all of its brilliant desire to control was like, hey, let's figure out, let's come up with an explanation as to this. And your explanations are always going to sound good to you because what you're doing, the explanations that you go with, they'll sound good to you because you're arranging the pieces that you have. And so you'll get them just so. They're not all the pieces that there are. And while this can be helpful in facilitating acceptance or even bringing things to your attention that you can do something with, you can become overly reliant on this process if you're on that healing journey. And so today, if you want to imagine just cutting through any webs of understanding that you've established that are holding you in a pattern that maybe you wouldn't need to be in anymore. And I say that because, let's say that you were born as a somewhat grown adult in winter. And you're, chucking along. What did I do? How do I control this? And then it just turns spring. If you don't have any context around it, you might come to think like there was something that you were doing that was making that happen, but it was just time. And that's been a theme a lot with magical folks recently, and those are the people that I consider have gone deep, reached far, or having more than just a superficial human experience. And that's fine, be as super as you want, superficial, super normal, it's all good, baby, it's all good. But the magical folk, to me, it's almost like, it's just like the chapter ended. And if you want to spend now thinking about how that chapter explains this chapter, or what, you can make as many connections. You can write as many book reports as you want about this chapter relative to that chapter. But you know what that does? It takes you out of this chapter, which is likely where you were trying or hoping to go, and all the things that could unfold from here if you were an active, delighted participant. So discovery to me basically means you open the door to some of the things that you're very sure about are your problem, and just be curious. be curious in a new way. So, for example, let's say like you've got a really strong narrative as to why you're not in a relationship, or why money is this way, or eating is this way, or your people pleasing is this way. You have all of the work that you've done and tying it to the things that work. Okay, we're just going to cut the cords, and you can put all that paperwork somewhere for you to use later if you want. But we're also going to make space for you to be curious about what else might be there, and not in like a let me explain it again, but like how might it move? You know, if it was just a timing thing and there wasn't anything for you to correct, like if it was just winter because it was winter and now it's not, can you let it change? Can you let it be spring? Are you willing to let go enough of the fear that it'll be winter again to let it be spring? Let's see, anything else? Yes, what else? Believe in your heart. Okay, what's that mean? You can count on its wisdom. That's so cryptic. Count on its wisdom in what way? Don't be fooled. Oh, that's interesting. What does that mean? I feel like there's like a feeling of knowing, and if you're on the healing path, if you're in this broadcast, likely what happened at some point was someone was like, hey, you're not right and you can't trust yourself. And maybe they told you that, or maybe the way that they acted made you think that way. And so you stop trusting yourself. And you're like, maybe I don't know what's going on or what I need, or if this is okay or not okay. But what if you did know now? Like, what if you knew? If you knew now, how would you know now? So it's not even that you have to develop the capacity to know. You only need to recognize that you can know. And often knowing is inconvenient at first. Oh, I don't really like this person. Oh, I don't really like that. Oh, I really like that. Oh, I did that. I didn't do that. I do this. They do that. Like, to see it as it is sometimes seems inconvenient because, oh my God, what if then you have to do something? What if it has to change? What if there's a hard conversation or period of the unknown or no, we're not worried about any of that. Allow, like, the step one is just willingness to see and affirm to yourself, soothe yourself and say like, okay, well, if there's an action to take or something to do beyond this, like, I'll know when it's time. And it'll feel like, just like a ski lift, just when you just sit your little ass down when it's your turn and up you go. Like, if the seat's not there, like, don't worry about it. Just allow yourself to see what it is, and when it's time for you to take an action, you'll know what it is and you'll know what to do. And I was talking to a client today, and I was making a distinction between inspiration and intuition. And really, to me, they're the same thing, but inspiration works so much more subtly that you often don't recognize that you're being led. You kind of step into different focuses, you step into different themes, and you just kind of move with it, not recognizing like, wow, that was, I don't want to say like divinely on time, but yeah, okay, this is the season for me to look at how am I happy alone. This is the season for me to look at how far I've come. Like, you'll get these different ideas, these different inspirations, and they kind of move right into action before you have the chance to say like, wow, that's a very intuitive hit. Like, that's a very intuitively led movement. And knowing that you have access to that all comes back to this idea of like allowing yourself to trust yourself, which is essential. If you're on this path, if you're on the T to B journey, trauma to being, you got to learn how to trust yourself, and come to terms with sometimes you did know better. You knew what was up, and for one reason or another, you weren't able to act or empowered to act, and that's okay. But allowing yourself to know opens the door for you to grow. All right, what anything else? No, that's it for today. All right, if you're joining on YouTube, these are filmed live on Instagram. I'm also doing energy readings on TikTok and God knows what else. And all 3 platforms are Shaylee Edwards. On Instagram, there are 2 underscores between the names, Shaylee Edwards. What else? I work with clients one-to-one. I absolutely love the work. It's such a blessing to do. While I do have the personal experience of being on the path, I find and feel that everybody is on the path uniquely and they have their own. And so I'm never corralling anybody down mine, but more or less empowering them to connect with themselves in a way that they know what's theirs, and to really cultivate like this trust in self, this love of self, the inner habits that let them lead their outer habits. And one of the most important inner habits is desire and why. And if you can connect those and really see like, okay, this is what I love and value, this is why it's okay for me to have it, or all of that allows for you to more powerfully corral your actions, because they're not these bad choices or things you shouldn't do in isolation. You have almost like a balance sheet where it's like, okay, well, I could do that, but I know this thing is really important to me, and I know that it's possible, and I know that if I continue to do these things, it'll move in that direction. And so at the decision point, rather than there being pain to say no to cake or no to yourself, you can start to make the other choice because you see where it goes. Anything else today? Yes, what else today? Believe your vision. Hi, good morning. Believe your vision. What's that mean? This is for Shaylee. Oh, this is messaging for me. Sorry, you just happen to be here right now. Messaging for Shaylee. It's my arrow. I gotta believe in my arrow. Where's my marker? I'm drawing arrows on my forearm as a reminder to stay focused. So maybe there's something for you in that messaging, or maybe it was just for me. But basically, my focus, my arrow is kind of like, what am I pointed towards? And for me, it's this idea of a nicer world for everybody and being fully expressed within myself, and going both directions. Like, that's what I'm looking toward, which isn't the problems that are behind me or beside me or what anybody else is doing. Like, it's this way. Like, that's what I'm looking toward, and that's what I'm asking for support, energy, and guidance in getting to. Oh, interesting. I guess that's that. Okay, end scene. Oh, thank you for tuning in. You can find more about working with me and a bunch of other things at habitbook.com. I also sell art for incredible local and non-local artists. Local to me is New Orleans. So if you have any questions about that stuff, let me know. Oh, and if you're just joining right now, this was a broadcast on discovery as a tool instead of trying to fix yourself.